Hey kings and queens, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time, welcome. You guys are in for a treat because we're going to be talking about Trinidad. I'm wearing my Yuma shirt that I kind of took from my friend. Hold on, let me do this. There we go. Yep. So Yuma is one of the bands that my friends and I got to jump while we were in Trinidad. And you guys will definitely see in the footage after I talk about the information and the process that I had to go through. Trinidad was something that my friends and I were all like talking about and so forth. And I have friends that have gone before, so they already knew what the process was to go on, which is flights, costumes, stay, so forth. At that time, I really wasn't sure if I wanted to go. So I really wasn't talking much about it, but I know my friends were like, Dom, you gotta come. And I'm like, I know, but like, money and, I really wasn't sure. So for me to get there was honestly God, because he really blessed me with a really good job for me to get there for a really cheap price of flights. So I was very blessed and grateful to go. So I reached out to my friend Javon, who was the host of stay and parties and so forth. And I reached out to him and I said, hey, like, I think I'm going to be able to go. So he's like, okay, so if you're willing to go, let me know the dates. So I was pretty much there for like 3 days, 2 nights. And one of the nights was at least Juve. So at least I got to experience that and see, Carnival Monday and Tuesday. I just didn't have the full costumes like my friends did. So Javon told me and said, hey, if you're going to come in for 3 days, 2 nights, I'm going to charge you for like $400, which covers transportation. You don't have to worry about like Uber and stuff like that, and like how to get to the event as well as the airport. So that covered food, and it covered for my outfit for Juve, which was basically like a t-shirt. But the t-shirt would involve not just a t-shirt. You received a cup, a little masquerade, and like information that's needed and stuff like that. So that's one thing I thought was really cool. And even overall in Trinidad, they're so professional and the way and organized. Like I was really beyond amazed, especially for Yuma. Like they had like 10 trucks and a bathroom at the end of it. I thought that was honestly like so well thought and organized. And like they had a section for like drinks and stuff like that. Mind you, like I'm still a beginner at this. Like, so I'm just like, oh my gosh. So yeah. And the best part about Trinidad was I got to see my cousin. Like my cousin, who I'm going to put down below his Instagram name, he stayed traveling and he stayed going to like carnivals and with no invitation. And I knew he was going to be there. Like I knew for sure he was going to be out there. I just didn't know like how I was going to see him. And then like one day when we were doing Carnival Monday, I just so happened to look and I ran to him. I was like, oh my gosh, yo. And I was so happy to see him. And like even him, he was so happy, like he saw me, like, cause we're family. So it's not often that you see family at an island, or better yet at a Caribbean festival at the same time. You don't really see that. So it was a really cool moment for both of us. So yeah. And that's really much it. That was pretty much my process. Like all I really did was pay that. I came in and it was my friend's birthday, so we just had a little pool party. Then we did Juve, and then we went into Carnival Monday and then Carnival Tuesday. And I didn't really get a chance to, like I said, go through the whole costume thing, which I really wanted to do. But once Carnival Tuesday came, at least I saw my friends. They looked their like best, and after that I left. So that's pretty much all I have to give you guys. But again, my friends Shayna and Bianca, they're going to give you the rundown of their whole process on how much it costs for the flights, the process, the costume, how they got the money, because listen, it was not cheap, okay? and so forth. So I'm gonna bring them out here, and you guys stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Bianca.
Hi, I'm Shayna.
I definitely wanted to go to Trinidad just because it's the mecca of carnival. It is, if you are a carnival lover, you want to go to the largest carnival in the world. Well, I guess outside of Brazil.
The greatest party.
It's the greatest.
Earth.
It is the greatest party on earth. That's their tagline, and it's completely true.
But that's, I mean, you said Brazil, and like
it's a totally different style of carnival.
Exactly. Yeah. The way that I categorize it is like there is a samba carnival, and a soca carnival,
and this is the largest soca carnival,
exactly,
for sure. So Shane and I were we got into carnival and soca music. Well, she's always been into soca music. I was a late comer into it, but as soon as I was into it, I fucking loved it. So we went to a couple carnivals here that are closer to home, and then our friends started talking about going to Trinidad, and so we hopped on. They were like, we looked at our finances, and as soon as it was feasible, we were like, okay, this is happening. I'm gonna be poor for a little while, but that's okay.
Exactly.
We're gonna get this done.
For me, which I've been in the soca culture for very long because I play steel pan, and I started steel pan when I was 12 years old, basically. And there's a certain spirit that gets in you from soca music. If you're with it, then the spirit enters you, and there's like not much more you can.
You can't fight it.
Exactly.
There's no way to fight it.
And there's no way to describe it unless you felt it, and everyone who's into soca knows exactly what you mean. And that's what, soca culture, Trinidad culture is to me. And so I knew I was always going to get to Trinidad Carnival one day, but I wasn't sure when. And our friends, like Lou Lime, getting together and deciding like this is the year they're really going to do it. And again, as Bianca said, like financials was looking right, job promotions, and it's like, okay, so my pockets align, my friends align, that means it's time to go.
Yep.
And that was really like, but also like something to take away from this, it is a year-long process. You cannot just decide.
So carnival in Trinidad is typically in February, sometimes March, but usually February. Usually February. Sometimes it can get pushed out into March, but usually it's February. We started thinking about it in the summer before. So we went February 2020. We started thinking about it the summer of 2019. I got my flight purchased in September of 2019. And as soon as I got my flight, that was like my deciding factor. Because the flight can be expensive. This whole thing can be expensive. But anytime you're flying into a Caribbean island, it's going to get pricey because there's not as many flights. It's not as like a popular travel destination. So like
or depending on the time, which
it's too popular.
It's too popular, and that's
flights book up fast. So I lucked out and I bought my flight in September. And then the bands start launching their costumes
like in
August. So I started looking at costumes. We all started looking at costumes and talking about what band we wanted to play with.
Okay, so I will say, especially in Trinidad, put 1,000 away in your mind, like
just for your costume.
1,000 is the number. It doesn't have to be. You can find like backline costumes for like 700 or 800. It doesn't have to be 1,000, but in order for you to not get sticker shock or just end up where you thought you had it but your pockets run short, like 1,000 is really what you have to think on.
So we chose to play with a larger band. Smaller bands can be less expensive, but for our first experience, we wanted to go with a band that like had like really good views, had a really good experience, had a good street vibe. Like you want the time on the road to be epic. So we wanted a band that was epic. So we went with Yuma. Love Yuma. And so that was a little bit pricier. We were both in the same section. We wanted to play with each other because obviously we love each other. So we didn't want to be like, oh, like us and me in one section, her in one section, and having to get separated a lot. So ours was $991 in total, $991 in total. I put my deposit down in October. Yeah, I put my deposit down in the end of October and then had up until February to pay it off. So we just paid it off little by little until D-Day. Yeah.
I would say, because then there's also, if you're not from Trinidad, which a lot of us are not, there's online service fees for paying off your costume. And with the online service fee, that's where it was over $1,000. Yeah, I think in total it was more like around 1,100.
Yeah, at the end of the day.
Yeah, because of the like percentage of online fee.
I think it's like 8% or something for service fees, whatever they charge you to charge your card.
Yeah, but still, in terms of band experience, which we'll get into that later, but in terms of what you're getting on the road, what you're getting in services,
and what you're getting in costume
design,
so gorgeous.
That's 1,100 was like.
So we both went with the backline.
Doable for that.
Yeah, we both went with a backline costume with feathers.
Midline.
Did we do midline?
It's midline.
Oh, we did do midline. So we went with a midline costume, and we both had a feather backpack. So the more feathers, the pricier the costume. If you want to be balling out in your huge feather headpieces and huge feather backpacks, then that's going to cost you more. But if you just want a straight, like, just bodysuit or just the body wear, that would be cheaper.
That's what, if we did just the body, it was like
$800 something.
Yeah, like $800.
It would have been $800 at the end of the day.
Just the body would have been $800. Yeah. It was very beneficial for us because it was basically a travel agency. They call it a concierge service.
Yeah. They do a bunch of different people, different services, different companies. Go with one that has a lot of reviews, because I know that this year a lot of people got their money stolen from them because they went with a brand new concierge service that hadn't been really cleared out by other people, and they didn't have a place to stay. They didn't have party tickets. It was a mess. So definitely go with someone that you can get reviews from, like from other people, or if it's someone that you know, like we did. We went with a brand new concierge service, Lua Lime, but we knew the people who were doing it, so the trust was there. We at least knew that they wouldn't mess us over like that, because they were also partying with us. So they did our place where we stayed, plus all the food, and transportation from the airport to the airport, all of the parties, from all the parties, and from actual carnival day.